relies primarily on colored means for expanding its sphere of influence. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised.
Billions of people just living out their lives, oblivious. Choice is an illusion created between those with power and those without.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up.
Thank you, John Larson. I receive your kind words on behalf of all of our courageous members of the House of Representatives who want the best for the American people. And what we can do that is best for them in the next 24 hours is to pass affordable, accessible health care for all Americans. The best for all Americans is to have 32 million more people to have health insurance in our country. The best for...
Piece of stinking filth.
Shh, you're sitting in shop. This is AJ of the InfoWars. Listen to the Shaliak. This is Alex Jones of InfoWars. Listen to Shaliak on the Cold Reality News and Report.
This is the coolest thing I have ever seen.
Well, hello there.
This week on Cold Reality Radio, all hell is breaking loose in Washington, D.C. and around the world as America is slowly becoming Germany of the 1930s. Donald Trump, reincarnated from Adolf Hitler, is now planning to do incredible atrocities to every man, woman, and child across the nation. And there's nothing that we can do to stop him but collaborate together and extinguish America like the Allies did to Germany in the 1940s. Get political tonight with the Grammys. Mexico, upset with America. Iran, everyone upset with Donald Trump. All SNL and all of Hollywood gang up against the newly elected president. Meanwhile, Obama just, along with his cohorts in the global community, created 6.6 million refugees and never took responsibility for it. So the rest of the world's got to take them on. Blatant and in-your-face destruction of humanity. Yet Donald Trump seems to be the worst person on the face of the earth. Today on this February 12th edition of Cold Reality Radio, here on the UCY.TV broadcasting network. I am the Shali Lama, and I will be here for the next hour and 24 minutes to talk about how insane this entire system is. It's just absolutely ridiculous, but not, just... It's just insanity, because the atrocities that the Bush administration got away with after, basically lying to the world about weapons of mass destruction that led to incredible the sanctions and just that entire nightmare that was, the Gulf War, and then that witch Secretary of State saying, I think it was worth it, the children that perished, when Leslie Stahl asked her, was it worth it? And she said yes. Dead children. Yes, it was worth it. And of course, she's still in the mix today, answering questions here and there. And where did she come from? Well, I'll tell you. She's part of the family. She's part of the family, folks. That's how you get in. That's how you get into these prestigious titles, because you're part of the family. Know what I'm saying? Let's see what's going on at headquarters. North Korea fires first test missile of the Trump era. She's part of the family, folks. There he is. That's how you get in. That's how you get into these prestigious titles. So another voice is coming through. Good there. Alrighty then. Let's see what's going on here in the UCY chat room. All right, we got to click on the UCY chat. Welcome to Sunday, February 12th. We are a week without football, and large portions of the male population just does not fucking even know what to do with themselves. Oh, man, you fucking Falcons, man. And for those of you who are Patriots fans, God, you're just still in a dream state of, how did this happen? How did we go from 28 to 3 to... But see, that's really the only thing that really even matters in this world, is your entertainment. What are you getting for your entertainment dollar? What are you getting for your entertainment dollar? And we could really do an entire program on the destructive programming that you see. And even if it's not blatantly destructive, like, I will tell you right now that I watch Sesame Street. Now, I watch that show, the New Girl with that Zoe Deschanel or whatever. I think she's just adorable. Okay, blatantly destructive. Like, yes, I will tell you exactly. Right now, that's what I was saying just a minute or two ago. Who is this person? Anyway, destructively. Anyway, that's the wrong one. All right, so yeah, so I'll watch it. Okay, I'll watch the program, and it's very funny. Every now and then, there's this the destructive. I thought I was in here already. No, hold on. The destructive message or messages that we get. Hopefully that's it. Yeah, I think it is. So it's strewn throughout all the programmings. I mean, right after the Super Bowl, for God's sake, 24, the new threat. I mean, people have no idea what they're even doing to themselves by watching this shit. Just all of the programs, the CSI, I think it's every Saturday night they put this show on NBC where they go over this crime that happened, a mystery that was never solved. And then they drag the listening and viewing audience through this nightmare that other people had. Why? Why and why would we watch a show like that? Because it's all about the drama. Just the drama. The CSIs. Just everything is about, I mean, what was that show that was on FX with Kerry Russell where it was about these Russian cells that were, you know, and they were it. You don't think that they were priming us for the Russian threat, for the Red threat? That show was on like 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, or maybe it was just, I mean, it's all about pre-programming for what they know is going to take place. And Hollywood is an arm of that. We know that. I'm not telling a lot of you things that you've never heard before. Hollywood is the delivery system that delivers the virus to you. Now, hey, I like to be entertained sometimes, but I learned that there's a way that you have to approach it, and you have to understand that the reason why this show is on is because it's trying to indoctrinate you further. It's indoctrinating you further into this fake reality that we legitimately live in. We live in a fake, false reality, and it pulls us, right, the Americans, thanks, 8 Hawks, the Americans, right? Of course, they weren't Americans, right? They were some Russians. Now, I didn't watch the show, but I watched enough of it over a family member's house to know that, man, this is just some kind of crazy propaganda. And so I said it. I was like, this is not good. No, it's really good. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. You watch it? Yeah. I can't wait to watch tonight and see what's going to happen. You know, the only thing that's good about that is that Kerry Russell is just an adorable woman. That's what I've taken from seeing her on television over the years. She's just lovely. She has the perfect face. She has just the perfect little face. Just lovely. And that's it. That's all I've taken from it. The rest of the show can wipe an ass. Because it's just shit. How do I get locked in? I'm locked into The Walking Dead, and it's starting up again tonight. Anybody in the chat room there going to watch the Walkers tonight? Anyone else out there that hopes that Rick just gets eaten by a horde of zombies? I'm so sick of him. I'm so sick of Rick. And what's happening now, what's happening in the show, is that the leader, the male leader, for all this time, gets soft and decides, oh, yeah, we just gotta do what we gotta do to survive. There's nothing we can do about Negan because, he chopped off my nuts. And now I got my Michonne. Yeah, my Michonne and my favorite gun back. And now who's really the leader? Who's like ready to fucking die for what Negan did to poor Glenn? Maggie. Maggie is taking over the male masculine part of the show. Much like Carol has, but now she's all like, I just want to live in my little cabbage carriage. and plant some food, and occasionally talk to the guy who has a lion for a pet. And, of course, Morgan. So I get involved in The Walking Dead mostly because the entire world, everyone that I run into every day is really a walker. They're just a walker. They're walking through this fake reality. They do exactly what they're told to do from birth to death in someone else's created system. And most of them are just fucking happy to be involved in that. They're happy to be involved in it. There's some that don't even really participate, but then they still get, they still get good shit from other people. And that's what the government's there for, to take from the people that work and actually do want to prosper in some way, which is, on large level futile. I mean, we know that a lot of these companies and corporations and rich people, they're all part of a family. Warren Buffett's related to Barack Obama. Yeah, I know. It's crap, too. I'm about done with it, Gringo. I'm about done with The Walking Dead. I just want to see Rick ate up. And, but it pulls you in. It pulls you in. But we're living in a world like that. We are experiencing... we are experiencing just a total annihilation from the toxic everything and the biological, right? The biological weaponry. So it's only a matter of time. We are legitimately, we are what you see on that. You see a horde of zombies walking down the street. Just picture a bunch of people, just walking down a city street, going to their jobs, doing what they're doing. Only they don't eat, an egg sandwich or oatmeal. They're eating other people. But ultimately, I think that's what we want. Anon 2020 put a lot into this. It is possible that The Walking Dead is predictive programming. It definitely is. To implant the notion that in the event of a system, the system collapses, folks will turn on each other in a survival instinct mode. Absolutely. Instead of coming together in a cooperative manner to overcome that level of strife. Sure. I agree completely. They've already called, zombies, they in these drills. And of course, as I read last week, there are more drills that are, army drills and things like that are going on. They are preparing for just all-out awfulness, right? Vampirism, absolutely. We've all sold out to their system. And they sit atop their ivory towers, and they live and embolden themselves and their lives off of other people. Because they made the rules, They made the rules. And then if you ever think that Trump's going to get this, a zero tax, 10%, see, I'm in that category. Well, I would pay 10% of taxation. And then, of course, I think over 100, you pay 20%. Corporations would pay like 15%. Which, honestly, that's on some level, that's the way it should be. Taxation is theft. We know that. But they continue to take. They continue to steal. There has been an outcry for knowing that that Trump is going to try to eradicate the Affordable Care Act. People are becoming more and more educated in the lies, and more importantly, the lies of the Affordable Care Act. And they're spouting it all over the place. They're talking, they're going to town halls, they're doing this, they're doing that. And it's really just an extended protest of the election that was lost. But did those who voted for Trump, did they really, really win? Did they really win? I say no. Because when you look at all of the people, all of the individuals that he is bringing into his cabinet, a pretty good percentage of them, where it matters the most, are Goldman Sachs alumni. I think Bannon is even somehow involved in that. And a lot of people say that that Breitbart is some kind of Mossad operation as well. So, I mean, it's there's no denying that. And then the only thing that you can really hope for is that, things that, like Greg has said, there's a faction of these people that don't want to see America collapse from its status. And now, over the last, I want to say 15, 17 years or more, it's probably longer than that, but it's really kind of lost its, when you become the debtor nation, how can you be a superpower? How can you, obviously printing money out of thin air is a good way to keep it going, a good way to mask that an economy is coming back, and that's largely been a lie. You can say some of the most positive things that happened in the economy happened because a lot of these people that, through Trump or whatever happened, are staying here. They're not leaving, that type of thing. But we know that largely the economic system is rigged, and we know that we've heard for the last, all I have to do is listen to Alex Jones for a period of time, and other people, other economically savvy folks, that there is nothing that is or can stop the crash of the international monetary system, which of course plays into the conspiracy theory that we're going to have a one world bank and that there will be no cash. We've heard and we've seen stories out there, some legitimate, maybe some coming from a more frantic standpoint, that cash money is going to be gone, and microchipping you like a dog, like an animal, is going to take place. We're already in the year that Henry Kissinger said that these things were going to take place, the chipping, the microchipping, and hey, we're only about 5 or almost 6 weeks into the new year, so anything's possible. And you know what? If they want chaos, then you've got chaos. You've got Trump in there, good or bad. And he is kind of moving in that direction. You've got people that think that he is, a mass murderer, when that's actually a lot of the presidents, the previous presidents, blood on their hands. They didn't. It's a concerted effort from we the people, not us, not the commoners, but we the people. In D.C. to really kind of make these things happen. But, if you're involved in it and you're the president, I think that one of the things that Jimmy Carter said, again, another member of the family, said the things that you do as president make you basically, and it should make you ineligible to be the president, the things that you do. And people have the collective Munchausen syndrome. A lot of these liberals, a lot of these women that marched in the day after the inauguration have this Munchausen syndrome, that they think that the government is their their leader. You are my leader. As long as there's a liberal in there who's going to continue to do things, who's going to continue to do things that are beneficial to someone who wants to. Anyone who would look into the toxic drugs, from the pill to a lot of these other methods of birth control, and they're just toxic. They will fuck your body up, and they will cause an imbalance, and you will get some form of cancer from the things that you're asking for and pleading for, and for them to not be taken away. And of course, they're looking at disgusting, vile people like Madonna as an example of a leadership of women. Now, largely Ashley Judd, this is going back obviously it's been that long ago, really, about 4 weeks ago. Ashley Judd, most likely a member of the family. Movies. And you really can't say that she's been a bad role model. I think Charles Barkley of NBA basketball legend fame said, "I'm not your kid's fucking role model. I'm not your kid's role model." Okay, so they would say to him, the media would say, "Well, you got a lot of kids that you root for you, that cheer for you." I'd be like, "I'm not your kid's role model." Okay, if you don't like the way that I act, tell your kids that I'm wrong, and maybe I am wrong, but I'm not a role model for your fucking kids. Do not put that on me. Just like Ricky Bobby, they said to Ricky Bobby, "Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby. I pray that one day your kids will." Because they told him that he could walk, and he was like, "No, I can't." Just denial, just absolute denial. And these fucking people in the media saying, "You have a responsibility." No, fuck you. I don't have a responsibility to your kids. You have a responsibility to your kids. I'm just an athlete. And I think Charles Barkley largely understands that, athletes, white and black, whatever, for wherever you're from, are paid slaves for your entertainment. It's true. I enjoyed watching Charles play, but I knew that he was not. And when he said, "I'm not a role model for your kids," I kind of got it. I get it more now. It's just like, I'll do what I want within the confines of the law, but I am not an example of what your kids should be like. If you're going to tell your kids, I don't know. It's this perpetual adolescence that just continues. This perpetual where we look to quarterbacks and running backs and power forwards and all these things to be, most of these people, they're just people. They're just like you. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to do things. Largely, what they need to do is just play the game and take in large sums of money, whether you're really good or not, to empower your own life within this fake system. And for someone to say, he's not my president, or say, do you fucking need a president? Do you need someone? Do you understand what a president is? He's the CEO of a corporation. And the media covers up largely for what they do. Now, they're not really doing that for Trump now. So it's really, really a bizarre thing, but cautiously optimistic is probably the right approach. I met up with this gentleman yesterday, 79 years old. John is his name, and he and another gentleman that I ran into, like, say, 18 years ago, health-related people that, work in nutrition. And so we started doing kind of like a seminar thing, like once a month. We were getting together talking about energy medicine, things like that. Different ways to approach illness and disease other than this destructive, mostly deadly American Medical Association, American Dental Association, where they decide, hey, we're going to put some mercury in your filling. That's cool. I mean, it's toxic and whatever, but it's cool. We'll just put that in there. We can put other things in, but we'll choose mercury. So just an absolutely destructive society, destructive universities that teach this liberal bull fucking shit. John was telling me that his granddaughter. Now, this guy's pretty amazing because I think he kind of ran into this other guy that I met. We both met him and were profoundly, we just became more intelligent and knowledgeable in how the body works, nutritionally, what's needed here and there by being in contact with him. So I think it was probably around, he was like 65 or something. I mean, this guy, he's a pretty tall guy, 79, but still pretty active. You think 79, he's someone who's that age, they're going to be like, but because he's been doing things this alternative way, he, is relatively healthy. And I called him up. He said, yeah, we should talk. Because, of course, I told him, kind of what I do and the things that I talk about, the things that interest me. And turns out the same kind of things interest him. When you live almost 80 years, you kind of pick up that the system's full of shit. When you've only lived about 10, 20, or 30 years, you're just on the cusp of, am I going to figure this out? Am I going to figure out that these people are full of shit? Am I going to figure out that Washington, D.C. they're just there for them and that it's a big club like George Carlin said and you ain't in it? You figure that out, and you figure out the destructive nature of empire. And of course, the American empire, it's fallen. It's going down. Is Trump here to save it with all the power and the money interest? And no, he's not. He's not here to save it. He's here to create as much chaos as possible so that the system will implode. Now it would implode with Hillary Clinton because she's not a nice person. We know what she's capable of. Most of these liberals, they have no fucking clue. They just want to be on the winning team. And they think the winning team are the Democrats. Okay? It's no different than anyone saying, I'm tired of the local team sucking so bad, so I'll become a Broncos fan, or I'll become a Steelers fan, or I'll become a Patriots fan. And so from that standpoint, you see people abandoning their own ship and then going for what they believe is the winning team. I used to think, I must be a Democrat because Republicans have a lot of money. So, first time I voted for Gore in the 2000 flim flam, if you will. And turns out that Al Gore's probably equally the piece of shit that George W. Bush is. Okay? There really is no difference. These ideologies are just there to separate and divide. That's all there is to it. At the end of the day, they're living off you. They mostly agree with the other people on what's going on. They agree with Republicans or whatever, but it's all about them maintaining their status, and they don't really give a shit whether you have health care or not, so they'll just go along to get along and say, there's this new, it sounds pretty good, let's just do it. And there's a little something in your Christmas stocking for voting for it. So it's really the go along to get along society that is very destructive, that gets everybody thinking, and it's very easy to say, well, I thought that it was like, it sounded good. It sounded like Saddam had weapons of mass destruction. He did say that he hated the Jews and junk, so let's just go in there and do what we have to do, blah, blah, blah. And largely, everything they say is a lie. And not maybe, not if, not might, but it will affect your life. Even if you don't know that it's going on, it's coming to your door. It's going to affect your existence and the existence of people that you love. And that's that. That's the end of that story. So you're not going to avoid the destruction of the empire. You are owned by it. And that's pretty much it. So, of course, you would imagine, you got ice sweep on Staten Island. What's going to happen? Chaos. You can argue whether it's the right or wrong thing to do, but after all of these years of what someone said the other night of Obama created this well-oiled machine for immigration, and you just sit there and be like, okay, well, obviously you're not a citizen So, and you want to be, so whatever Obama did was okay, no matter what. Turns out that when you become a citizen, you are very profitable, let's say. Okay? United States citizens are profitable to the United States corporation. Immigrants and undocumented, meaning you don't have a social security number for us to steal from you, then you become undocumented. You're not illegal. You're not an employee of the United States corporation. And that employment is the your internment camp number, known as your Social Security number. So, and that's what Alex Jones doesn't say to you when he says, "Yeah, they get these illegals and then they just release them." Well, there's really nothing that they can do to them legally because they're not United States citizens. They belong to another country. So, of course, he doesn't mention any of that stuff. The very, very important and rock solid information that Clint Richardson, in his 3 to 4 years on RBN, sought knowledge, found it, and conveyed that information that United States citizenship is slavery. It's just modern day slavery. And you wouldn't know because the bars are invisible. And you're here to be like the U.S. Code, that section of the U.S. Code where it says, we as a U.S. citizen, we can experiment on you. Wait, what? What? We can experiment on you. Like what kind of stuff? Chemical, biological, don't worry about it. What do you mean don't worry about it? Chemical, biological, that sounds really kind of scary. Hey, listen, you know what? You signed the contract, okay? You signed the contract. What contract? What are you talking about? When you were born, you signed. Well, I was a baby. How could I sign a contract? Oh, it was your parents who delivered you to the state, delivered you to the corporation, the Crown Corporation. Oh, yeah, they didn't know that either. Sorry. Oh, you're property of the United States Corporation. Therefore, we can test you chemically, biologically. You can extract from you through taxation, whatever we want, however much we want. Your property. So you're like a dog. So roll over, asshole. All right, more illegals flee north. What to do if officers come knocking? The paper saying Venezuela now leads asylum requests. They need people. They need to do something. They've been devastated economically. The blueprint. Chicago horror, girls 11 and 12 critically wounded in Saturday shootings. Apparently, as well as most of us know, Chicago is a battlefield of death. And did Obama ever talk about that? Did his once chief of staff, Rahm Emanuel, ever, and now mayor of the death city, murder capital of the world, possibly, run by a dual citizen with Mossad connections? They don't care about you. You're dead. all you people, all you young black people, young whatever's in Chicagoland. Okay, you had better get out of there, and you better try your hardest to make something of your life, because if you think that Rahm Emanuel thinks about 5, 10, 15, 20 black people or 20 black on black crimes that lead to 15 deaths or whatever, if you think he fucking cares about you, you better think again. You better think again. His supremacy is the only supremacy that you or anyone should be concerned about. IMS Lagarde, the face of the IMF bank, optimistic about the U.S. economy. Yeah, she's optimistic about it. Republicans waver on repealing Obamacare taxes, and they're taking incredible backlash from a lot of the people that voted for Trump with the understanding that the Affordable Care Act would be repealed and that it would be replaced by something. But it was created like a tentacle. Like, just imagine gum in someone's hair, someone with a lot of hair, and the stickiest, nastiest fucking gum that you've ever fucking come across. And it's in the hair and it's embedded. It's never going to come out. It has to be cut out. And if they cut it out, then it's going to collapse even further the economy. That's the way it was designed. It was designed to kill the host. It was a parasite that was designed to kill the host. Upon removal. That was pretty good. Sometimes I say some things that are really cool. All right, let's see what else we got here. What we got? Yep. And of course, that's what people want. They're like, you got to stop this shit. Let's see if we can play it. No, I don't think we're going to be able to play that. Watching an AP. Republicans love cutting taxes, especially if they were authorized by a president named Barack Obama. But as they push their wobbly effort to erase his health care overhaul, they're divided over whether to repeal the levies the law imposed to finance its expanded coverage for millions of Americans. It's a $1 trillion dilemma, actually closer to $1.1 trillion. That's the 10-year price tag the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, which basically lied back and forth when this was trying to be implemented, or even if they did tell the truth, it wasn't even really taken into consideration for some reason. That's a 10-year price tag the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office puts on revenue the government would lose if the law's taxes on wealthy people, the insurance and pharmaceutical industries, and others were eliminated. See? The parasite. Republicans and President Trump have been edging away from their promise to quickly eliminate Obama's entire law. See, this is something that they should have known beforehand, but they just say whatever, knowing that it really needs to be, but can it? And ultimately will it be repealed. Still, annulling its taxes would be a partial victory and is irresistible for many GOP lawmakers and the conservative voters at the core of their support. We should do a full repeal, said Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio, a leading House conservative, and full repeal means not taking the taxes from people. It's designed to devastate, to steal from one group and give to another. Again, it's like the tumor that if you cut it out will kill the host or just devastate it, along with so many other things that are going on in the world. The lies of the war on terror, the lies of the war on disease, which they never are ever going to come clean on disease. It's just part of what, and everyone is going along with it. The politicians are going along with it. Most of them have no idea, but they get a different health care plan. Now here's what Utah GOP, let's see if we can get this one going. See if we can get this one going. Here. Oh, the internet's a steaming pile of shit. Can't even play a video. Gee, that's great. AP.org, that's not going to play. Oh, yeah, James Corden, another, most likely a family member, is going to be singing at the Grammy tonight, so just in case you're a star fucker, you might want to tune in for that. Know what I'm saying? I mean, what the fuck? Videos just don't play, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe it's this thing. Maybe I got this. I'm going to trust the site and see if that works for me. Here we go. Call Reality Radio. Here on the UCY.TV Broadcasting Network. It's 11:26, y'all. Yeah, you've got more videos. No, maybe. Can't seem to get this to play, you know. There it is.
But it needs to be a two-way here. Just let me get through this first.
Why don't I have a damn microphone? And thirdly, you didn't answer that guy's question. Do your job! Do your job!
About 620. Hold on. How about adding almost 20,000 acres to Arches National Park? Did you like that?
Nobody else except me when I go in that voting booth.
That was wrong. I called it out.
They are ridiculous.
This is the less conservative section of the county, and it's his first visit since the election. We hope he comes back for more.
Very good. Very good. Be quiet. It doesn't work if you're not quiet.
Thanks, AP. That fucking video was shit. Tom Price sworn in as the Health and Human Services Director. So a lot of people are getting very annoyed that they can't just flip a switch and Obamacare be gone. And, of course, it's just basic bullshit that you hear when these people trying to get into the big club when they're trying to get elected, they'll say whatever. Bottom line is people think that they know how this thing works, but they don't. The open-ended check, the open-ended bureaucracy that can change Obamacare any old time, like a polymorphic virus, where it gets so embedded into almost every aspect. It's possible that it cannot be defeated without chaos. So North Korea fires its first test missile of the Trump era. What?
Can everybody hear that?
Probably.
Counter what's happening there in North Korea and the development of these nuclear missiles.
Well, if China wanted to, it could certainly cut off flows of oil, and it could cut off purchases of coal and all sorts of things to really undermine the North Korean economy. But it hasn't done that. We've had a policy of trying to work with Beijing, and that policy has been in effect since 2003, since the beginning of the six-party talks, but nothing has seemed to push China in the right direction. The one thing that we could do, which we haven't tried, because we've tried virtually every policy, the one thing that we haven't done is to impose sanctions on Chinese banks and other Chinese entities that are actually quite coercive. If we were to do that, that of course would have all sorts of implications. But nonetheless, at this point, what we have been trying to do with China just hasn't been effective. So we need to try something different, because Beijing has basically said it's going to support the North Korean regime, and it's been consistent in that for the course of decades.
Gordon, what would be appropriate in terms of a reaction to this launch? It's obviously a fine line, and you have to kind of thread the needle, right, to show power, but yet not provoke.
Well, we've always said that our sanctions are intended to bring North Korea to its senses, not to its knees. And so there's a room for additional sanctions on the North Korean regime itself. We could add North Korea to the State Department's list of state sponsors of terrorism. We could go more effectively after their sources of money. But the real coercive penalties that we could impose are sanctions on Chinese banks that have been involved in North Korea's illicit commerce. We have not done that. And of course, that would shock the global.
Here we go. Sanctions on China. That's good. Sanctions are a declaration of war. So it really, truly is underway. And it really is just going to take one spark to set off the world war that they've ultimately been planning for a long time. And what do people love? Drama. So they're going to get all the drama they can handle, and maybe too much.
Probably comedy.
Oh, it is hilarious that people actually still buy this shit that they they sit back and think, well, there's nothing that I can do to do. There's nothing that I can do. Is the game okay? I'm going to go watch the game. Meanwhile, the world's fucking melting down and everybody's like, fucking Walking Dead. That's what, as I said in the beginning of the show. Just the dead walking. Grammy's producer, douchebag McGillicuddy, wants the stars to be political during their speeches. Can somebody put a gag on Meryl Streep? Let's see what we got here. Is it Ken Ehrlich? I don't even know. Who's this? Who's this fucking chode? As let's see, in a fraught moment of political protest across the country, the live mic at televised award shows has become a potent weapon. As such, Grammy Awards producer Ken Ehrlich my ass, has a message for those who will take the stage on Sunday's ceremony. Bring it on. Ehrlich my ass has no reservations about political messages or anti-Trump statements flying during the 3-hour Grammy cast, 3.5 hour. Artists expressing passionate opinions about real-life issues are the stuff of memorable moments, he said. Here's a quote from Ehrlich my ass. One of the tenets of our show is artistic freedom. Yeah, and Trump said he said he was gonna abolish artistic freedom. And I remember when he said that. Over the years, we've been shown we do believe in it. Ehrlich my ass told Variety. How many more times do we need to hear I'd like to thank my publicist, my agent, my wife and kids? How about they just say, I like to thank Satan because he's the only one that seems to understand. The great acceptance speeches are ones that have a point of view and are more personal. Hey, this is what I want from my artists, okay? Sing a song. If it's good, I'll listen to it. If it's bad, I'll wipe my ass with it. And I don't give a fuck what your fucking political standpoint is. And if you decide that you want to make it known what that is, you can drop dead. And I don't care if you make another record or not. The bottom line here is we're not talking about there are no protests over the real issues. There are no protests over the real issues of our time. And why are there no protests over the real issues of our time? Because the fake fucking news from CBS and NBC and ABC and AP and all of these other global fucking rags that should be absolutely just demolished are creating fake information. It's fake, distorted information, and we're not getting real information so that we can actually protest about the real issues of the world. Like how these politicians and these misleaders are leading us astray and lying to us. And the media is helping them lie to us. That is the big story. Is that not the big story? We are not protesting the real fucking issues of our time. Like, the war on terror is a fucking bullshit lie. Like, pharmaceutical companies are murdering more people than they're helping. We don't need to just replace the president every 4 years. We don't fucking need one. And we don't need Congress or the Senate. Because they are all bought by the global interests that are stealing from you. You've been robbed of your identities. You are property of the corporation that you were born into. How are these not the big issues of our time?
It's always been that way.
How are these not the big issues of our time?
Just get over
it. just get over it, man. Get over it, man. I have gotten over it.
Why do you feel you're entitled to be something that no one else in the world is?
The voice. I can't be the voice of a new generation. Oh, that's someone else's motto.
Just try to live the best life you can with the hand you've been dealt.
Well, what's going to happen here is that these mutants that this system has created, they are going to burn all of our lives down. So even if we sit back and try to live the best lives that we can.
Since the beginning of time, someone has always owed people since the beginning of time. I speak as a woman.
People own selling people to people. I don't know. I mean, I just think that birth control should not be an issue.
Well, everybody thinks that it shouldn't be an issue, but it already is. You can't put Pandora back in the box.
Meryl Streep wearing a North Face jacket and a big knitted brown teddy bear hat that kept her from looking like Oscar-winning activist that she is, loading up on groceries in a Whole Foods Tribeca while her husband waited for her out in the car. She should have had that fucking patriarchic motherfucker in there getting her fucking groceries.
See, no matter how far up that chain you go, you're still, as a woman, in the store while the man sits in the car.
Oh my God, Meryl Streep, you're so brave. You're so brave bringing up topics in a room of people that you know will all agree with you. That was one thing that they said. It was just like, courage and bravery is to stand in front of people and say something that's not popular. Something that's not popular. And then deal with the ramifications of the unpopular thing that you just fucking said.
Natalie Mead.
Like I do all the time. I say things that are unpopular all the time. Like Hillary and Donald Trump are cousins. And now it's seeping in. John, yesterday, talking with him, he said, I had 4 people that in my life that I considered friends of mine, and because I told them that I voted for Trump, he lost those 4 friends. And I felt bad because he's 79. And he's a good guy. He went through this whole thing. I was going to read it today, but I'll probably read it next week. 50 points of the things that Trump said he's going to do. So he's holding him to it. He voted for him, and he's holding him. He's going to look at it and say, did he do this? Did he do that? Did he do this? And I said, well, you're being just like I am, but you're doing an even better job. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Somebody's doing a better job of being you.
A better job of voting for someone and then holding their feet to the fire. A lot of these people that voted for Barack Obama 8 and 4 years ago just voted so that he could get in there, and then they crawled back under a fucking rock. Not paying attention to anything that he did, being involved in the 6.6 million refugees that now we have to take on at some point.
Everybody knows paying attention is hard.
Keep your eye on the ball, Billy. I can't see so good. That's because you didn't eat your fucking carrots, you little maggot. I'm going to slam you back up your mother's ass.
That's what your dad said to you.
Yeah, he said awful things. But he was shell-shocked from World War II.
Yeah, whatever.
He was shell-shocked. Was it? Shell-shock. Yeah, I love George Carlin's take on that. Back in the day, it was shell-shock. And then it's post-traumatic disorder. So they change it. They change the names of things so that they're less. Right? If your kid's not smart, he's minimally I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Mrs. Smith, but your child is minimally exceptional. Thank God for that. Right? That's what it is now. He's minimally exceptional. How about vaccine damaged? Minimally exceptional due to vaccine damage from a psychotic pharmaceutical industrial complex. Is he going to get worse? Well, he's going to get more minimally less exceptional. And then, you'll be changing his diaper at 30, 40, 50. And then you'll have to raise up enough money to have someone else put and change his diapers when you die. So God bless America. Right? Mike Myers' luxurious New York City pad is nothing to laugh at. Let's see. I'm going to laugh because he's funny. Wayne's World, party time, excellent. Is this going to play? He just found a buyer for his enormous New York City apartment. They had $15 million for his Manhattan condo. These are the real big stories of our time. The pre-war Tribeca building featuring a private elevator direct to the apartment. Marble accents. And a master bedroom with not but two walk-in closets. You got to see this. This is weird. Looks like this pad is groovy, baby. That was a nice apartment. All right. What else? What else is happening out there? Man at Town Hall rips it to shreds. Shredder!
Everyone here has had great points. We all want health care. Our goal is all the same. Health and affordable care. That's what we want. I don't care whether we call it ACA. I don't care if we call it Obamacare. I don't care if we say repeal, replace, fix. It doesn't matter. Whatever it winds up being is we needed to have all the provisions we need to give us the coverage we're all talking about. So, thank you.
My request to you is to rip Obamacare bill the way it is now to shreds. Okay? Rip it to shreds. Okay? Okay? Okay. Okay, I didn't say do the current bill that Representative Ryan has right now. There's a lot of points that I think some of the people said today that make sense, okay? But it needs to be ripped. There's plenty of people here who obviously like Obamacare. There's a massive number who don't, okay? And the costs and other issues have been...
More business owners don't like it.
Hold up. That's true. Yeah. So my request to you is to repeal it completely and build a new system that takes care of the needs that everybody wants in an appropriate way and an affordable way. Thank you.
Every American should have health care coverage. Would you agree? Okay. That pre-existing conditions should be covered. Would you say? Okay. If you are 26 years old, or at least up to that, you should be able to be covered by your parents' insurance. Would you agree? Okay. Mr. Price, the cabinet member, has said he's committed to those three things. Yes. So you need to find out the facts before you start complaining.
So that's pretty positive there. You really do need to break things down for the stupid. Like that guy just said. He said, we're all for people, even they have a pre-existing condition, to be taken care of. Everybody should get health care. A lot of the things that, that kids be covered till they are, 26. I mean, that's a little long. You know?
Yeah, but they can't. That was because nobody could find jobs and move out from their parents' houses. They're all still living with their parents.
It's because the economy is shit, but they're lying about it.
That's why they let them stay on.
Well, here's the thing.
There's a thing.
You get young people who say, "Oh, I'm covered." They're not going to fight against anything. So you take that swath of people for the first 25 years, 26 years of their life, and you say, okay, you're going to get this. But who's going to pay for that?
Because their health care is minimal.
Well, that's true. They're not 50 or 60.
If they put all those young people on the plan, it's their premiums that are paying for the old people's health when they get sick. It won't work. It doesn't work unless healthy people pay for it too. You dig?
Yeah, well.
That's how it works. It's called insurance.
Well, premiums that are that outrageous like that are going up, that are just increasing exponentially.
500 times the cost of drugs and shit. Every health procedure costs so much money.
The pharmaceutical companies are fucking ridiculous, and the government is in cahoots with them. So where do we go from here?
Nowhere.
It's the government's problem. They create the fucking problem, and then they say, oh, we want to provide health care to you, but it's the pharmaceutical companies that charge so much money for this and that. They're liars. They're fucking liars from fucking beginning to end. But for some reason, we need gubermente. We need the control of the mind. We need this government to provide everything that we need. And no, I don't believe that we should, we deserve health care. We don't. Because most people have no idea what health is. Even the system, these doctors don't know what fucking health is. Health is what the Food and Drug Administration determines it is.
Well care.
What's it?
I want well care.
I want wellness care. That's what I want. But yeah, what is that? The FDA? Oh, let's approve more GMO crops. Let's approve more toxic shit, and then we'll steal more of your rights away when it comes to supplementation. Frank said the other day that this boron, the homeopathy place, they put a lot of those supplements out. They're not, it's even more stringent now. They're not allowed to say that this will treat this or will treat that. You can take this to see if it helps you for this, but you can't say this, and it's getting even more and more draconian that you can't make any health claims. This is pretty funny here.
Samantha Bee is apparently back from, I think she took a break from doing her show. You can tell because of the aroma of bitch that fills the studio at TBS.
Pungent.
She is, I believe, the worst offender of completely taking clips out of context. Yeah. She did it this week. Well, first, let's watch her set it up.
Well, she gets away with it because she's adorable.
First, after briefly banning Kellyanne Conway for being a flaxen-haired fountain of lies, CNN let her back through the gates straight into Jake Tapper's cage. And they haven't fed him this week.
Oh, so catty. She's a strong woman. What was she talking about? It was just such an epic fail for Kellyanne Conway. Here's the montage she showed her audience.
Saying that we don't cover terrorism, that's just false. Sprays of falsehoods coming from the White House. How about the president's statements that are false? Falsehoods, false.
At first glance, it would look like Jake got the better of those exchanges.
Right.
Now, it's easy to look as though you mopped the floor with someone when you don't show any of their responses. It's like arguing with a kung fu doll. Here's the thing with this. Taking someone out of context, we get this a lot. They go, you edited a clip, you edited a video. We get that a lot when we do hidden camera videos. Yeah. All videos are edited. All clips are edited, okay? By its very definition, if you have 19 hours of raw footage and you have a 10-minute video, that's selectively editing. So I don't want to claim that here. Here's what's important. Editing out of context means you're making something look to be an event that it wasn't. Maybe even making it look to be the opposite. So Samantha Bee does this, and she's not really making comedic points. She's using it to make political points. Look at her sources on the show. It's almost always Salon, Vox, Daily Kos, Huffington Post. So you know where she's coming from. No context was provided. Here is how Kellyanne Conway answered those. You didn't even see the questions. You just saw accusations of false, but you tell me if it looks like an owned.
What the president is saying there, Jake, is that there are other attacks that don't get as much coverage. Obviously, the very sad incidents that you related where, frankly, CNN did amazing coverage. Well, I did this past week, and I regretted it tremendously because I used the wrong word to describe something several times, and I'm sorry because I've spoken literally millions of words on TV, I'm sure. I'm handed the information, I think you referred to it as well, that we have had an increase from 2014 to 2015
I said that.
in rapes and murders and assaults. I'm probably looking at the same data you are.
Sounds pretty reasonable.
Reasonable, yes.
Hey, you know what? Maybe Jake Tapper even got the better of her in that interview. Maybe it wasn't Kellyanne Conway's strongest interview. I'd advise going to watch it, the full 25-minute interview. I think we have it up at louderwithcrowder.com. But it certainly wasn't an owning.
No. Smackdown.
And one could say that's an isolated incident, but in the very same show, I would argue, taking out of context.
Minutes later,
Samantha Bee presented the debate between Senator Ted Cruz and Senator Bernie Sanders as going down like this.
I disagree with Ted, who wants to give incredible tax breaks to millionaires and billionaires.
When my dad went to Texas in 1957, when he was 18, he couldn't speak English.
Incredible tax breaks to the top 1%.
Okay. And Bernie's solution, I'm reminded of an old Saturday Night Live skit with Christopher Walken, where they're playing in a band and he keeps ringing the cowbell.
That being said, Ted Cruz didn't make that joke sound incredibly serious.
He did. It was very poor delivery.
I'll give him that. Now, why did the chicken cross the road? Vote for me. So, I'll give her that. But here's the thing. They tried to make it seem as though Bernie was substantive. That's probably the one time Bernie ever referenced numbers, right? It was the top 1%.
Yeah, it's not really a fact as much as just a figure.
And they try to make it sound like Ted Cruz was nonsensical and just going off on tangents as though it wasn't clearly Bernie Sanders looking like someone trying to escape the old folks' home. Or just wandered in playing Pokemon Go.
He didn't make it out, by the way.
No.
He's still there.
No. Where's Jigglypuff?
Hashtag pray for Bernie.
Hashtag pray for Bernie. So this is important to note because even impartial observers said, you know what, this was not a good showing for Bernie, which shows you that Samantha Bee can't even be honest in her assessment.
This is what I'm talking about. We need this in the freaking United States of America. Why do we not have protests like this? I don't care if it's going to be brutal and violent or whatever. We need this because politicians in the U.S. are not getting it through their freaking heads.
There were the protests in Berkeley. People were beaten within an inch of their life. Violent protests, trash cans. It really wasn't a protest. It was.
So it wasn't time for that, but it just showing you the Young Turks. It was Steven Crowder. He used to do stuff on Fox News. He's been interviewed by Paul Joseph Watson a number of times. Or maybe I think he's actually been interviewed. Crowder interviewed him, but vice versa. Anyway, just, do whatever you can until the fucking place burns down. Cole Reality Radio, February 12th, UCY.tv. Signing out for the day.
I will MK Ultra ya. Put the MK scope on ya. If the MK hits ya, it's guaranteed to open ya. The 57mm Mark 110. 220 rounds a minute, try to stop them. Don't put that on your wish list, that's retarded babble. Protesters make the hit list soon as they start to rabble. They are nothing but fishes in the barrel. It doesn't have to be Christmas for a carol. Some decorate with ornamental decorum. Some perform Shakana on Hanukkah and Purim. That's where my job come in. I am a blessing to the mercenary for the corporation selling weapons to them. Any potential competitor step into them. I'm authorized to knock them out and stick a GPS into them. They want to sell uranium to Iran. That's enriched, that's a bitch. Now we gotta teach them.
Question everything.